The man found a lost phone, but instead of returning it to its owner, he smashed the screen to pieces. Half an hour later, he called the owner, told her he had found her phone and left it at a repair shop, and urged her to come pick it up right away. The owner walked into the repair shop in high spirits, completely unaware that she had walked straight into a trap set by the man. He handed her a repair ticket, saying she had to fill in her information before he could fix the phone. The owner found it odd that the ticket required her to provide her phone passcode just for a screen repair, but she filled it in anyway, eager to get her phone fixed quickly. Unexpectedly, the man did not rush to repair the screen. Instead, he neatly pried open the back of the phone, unscrewed the screws, removed the motherboard, secretly replaced the camera with a special modified one, and only then put the screen back on. But that was not all. He then unlocked the phone with the passcode the girl had provided, connected it to a computer, and installed a Trojan malware program into the system. Next, he took an identical phone from the cabinet, plugged in an adapter cable, and cloned all the data from her phone onto it. The owner was overjoyed to see her phone looking as good as new, but her nightmare had only just begun. Through the Trojan he had installed, the man could remotely control the special camera in her phone from his computer, turning the device into a live surveillance feed right by her side. Her every single move was watched closely by the man, down to the smallest detail. Even more terrifying, every action she took on her phone was mirrored in real time on his device, leaving her with no privacy at all. After days of surveillance, he had learned every last detail about the girl. He knew her name was Nami, that she had a full-time job during the day and helped out at her father's bubble tea shop in the evenings. He knew her favorite drink was grapefruit juice, her go-to game was PUBG, and she only had two close people in her life, her boss at work, and her best friend Lisa. Even more disturbingly, while Nami slept at night, he remotely controlled her phone and went through every single app on it. To him, Nami was now as transparent as a blank sheet of paper, with no secrets left. With all this information in hand, the man moved on to the next phase of his plan, to insert himself into Nami's real life, and then torment her to death little by little. That night, the man dressed up meticulously to match Nami's exact type, then showed up at her father's bubble tea shop. He ordered a grapefruit juice right away, and sat deliberately playing games at a table. With his handsome looks, friendly smile, and perfectly aligned interests, Nami could not help but notice him. The two struck up a conversation quickly, and Nami was amazed to find that they clicked perfectly, both in their appearance and their core values. Her father, however, warned her afterward that everything about the man felt too perfectly coincidental, like it was all deliberate, and told her to keep her distance. But Nami was already smitten with the man and refused to listen, even getting into a heated argument with her father over it. The man watched their entire fight unfold in real time through Nami's phone. He decided he needed to get rid of the father who stood in his way first. That very night, Lisa was staying over at Nami's place, and the two had been talking non-stop, neither of them touching their phones. Seizing the opportunity, the man remotely controlled Nami's phone to send her father an apology text, along with a link. He told the father to click on it, saying all her friends had been playing it lately. The father thought nothing of it, pleased with his daughter's apologetic tone, completely unaware that the link contained his malware, which would install itself automatically the second it was opened. Later, through monitoring the father's phone, the man learned his new delivery had arrived. He disguised himself as a delivery driver and dropped the package off at the front door ahead of schedule. When the father came out to pick it up, the man suddenly appeared behind him and struck him over the head with a brick, knocking him unconscious. As the father was abducted, rain began to pour from the sky. That same heavy rain unearthed bodies the man had buried in the mountains. Police launched an overnight excavation, and eventually found 8 brutally murdered bodies at the same site. Their fingerprints had been destroyed, and their faces doused in sulfuric acid, making immediate identification impossible. Just as Detective Captain John was stuck with no leads, his team made a new discovery, a bottle of tree nutrient solution found at the burial site. Who would be giving trees nutrient drops in this remote, desolate area? Puzzled, John searched the surrounding area, and sure enough, found a grapefruit tree with an 4 nutrient drip attached. Even more critically, a tag hung on the tree, bearing the name Nick. John was stunned. His own son was named Nick, and he had run away from home 7 years prior. From what John knew of his son, he was a useless coward who could not even bring himself to kill a chicken. How could he possibly be a murderer? But nothing was certain anymore. He decided to try and contact his son, to ask if he had planted the grapefruit tree. Late that night, he sneaked his wife's phone. His relationship with his son was so terrible that he had no way to contact him at all, and hoped his wife might have his details. What he found was that his wife had been in constant contact with their son, who was always asking her for money, or begging her to send him kimchi. John tracked his son down using the shipping address. When he saw no one was home, he sneaked inside. The moment he stepped through the door, he was shocked. On the table sat a bottle of nail polish, an exact match to the polish found on one of the victim's hands. The photos of girls on the wall bore a striking resemblance to another victim. John opened the wardrobe, which was filled with clothing belonging to multiple different people, and the suitcases held more of the same personal items. John quickly pulled out his phone and photographed everything. Meanwhile, the man who had abducted Nami's father returned home. As he reached for his key to open the door, he noticed the red string he had balanced on the doorframe had fallen. He instantly realized someone had broken into his home. He quietly circled around to the window, and sure enough, saw John searching the room inside. By this point, John had found the smoking gun, a notebook containing detailed records of every victim, along with the step-by-step plans he had used to murder each of them. Just as John was absorbed in the notebook, his phone suddenly vibrated. A text from an unknown number read, "Dad, it's been so long since we talked." Then came a photo, taken right as he was reading the notebook. John realized his son was nearby, and rushed out of the house. But the street was completely empty. Just then, John received several more photos, taken from the rooftop across the street. But when he raced up the stairs, out of breath, he found nothing but a phone being controlled remotely. Realizing he'd been lured into a trap, John raced back to the house, only to find it completely ransacked. All the critical evidence was gone, and even the footprints on the floor had been washed away without a trace. After this close call, the mystery man knew he had to speed up his plan. He needed to finish off Nami before the police could track him down. Completely unaware of this, Nami was fast asleep next to Lisa in her bed. When she woke up with a stretch and saw Lisa's silly sleeping position, she reached for her phone to snap a photo. The second she picked it up, her blood ran cold. Her boss had called her 78 times, and it was already 11 a.m. She did not have time to wonder why her alarm had not gone off. She threw on her clothes and jumped into a taxi, grabbing her phone to explain herself to her boss. That was when she found something even more horrifying. All her social media accounts were flooded with messages, and the company group chat was full of vicious comments, all directed at her. Sometime after she had fallen asleep the night before, someone had used her accounts to leak the company's dirty secrets online, rip her boss to shreds, and call all her colleagues worthless. When a frantic Nami arrived at the office, her colleagues and boss were already waiting for her. She insisted she had been hacked, but none of them believed her. Listening to Nami and her boss arguing through the phone, the man crossed the boss's name off his list. The only person left in Nami's life now was Lisa. The two headed to the police station right away, but for a hacking case like this, the police could not file a report without hard proof of the attack. With no other options, Nami reached out to the man she had met at the bubble tea shop, the one who had said he worked in cybersecurity. At this point, Nami still had no idea her father had been abducted by the very same man. When they met, the man first asked Nami about her phone's battery drain. When she told him it was draining twice as fast as usual, he told her outright what the problem was. Her phone had spyware installed on it, a program that could monitor every single thing she did on her device. Nami said she had not installed anything new recently. The man said he would run a full analysis back at his office and update her with what he found. Nami could tell he was holding something back, so after he left, she chased after him. This time, the man stopped holding back. He asked if she lived alone, explaining that this kind of spyware could only have been installed by someone close to her. The second he said it, Nami immediately became suspicious of Lisa. She had not invited Lisa to stay the night. Lisa had shown up unasked. Even more suspicious, when Lisa wondered why Nami was taking so long inside the cafe and went to peek through the window, it only confirmed Nami's worst fears. Without hesitation, Nami turned around and confronted Lisa face to face. Lisa was furious. She had done nothing but run around trying to help Nami fix this mess ever since it happened, only for Nami to accuse her of being behind it all. But she supposed it made sense. If Nami was willing to leak her boss's secrets and insult her colleagues, it was only fitting she would turn around and frame her best friend too. Lisa had enough. She had a huge falling out with Nami, told her to never contact her again, and stormed out of the cafe in tears. Watching Lisa cry as she left, the man knew his divide and conquer plan had worked perfectly. Taking away Nami's job had been easy enough, and now she had no one left. But before he could make his next move, something unexpected happened to Nami. In just 3 days, she had lost her job, her best friend, and was on bad terms with her father. She completely broke down, blamed everything on her phone, and threw it to the ground in a fit of rage. Staring at the shattered screen, she suddenly remembered that the repair technician had handled her phone. She quickly brought 2 police officers with her to the phone repair shop, and ran straight into John, who had tracked the evidence right to this very shop. When they compared notes, Nami realized the man who had found her phone, the repair technician, and the cybersecurity expert who had helped her were all the same person. At this point, she only saw him as a pervert who enjoyed spying on people's lives, never suspecting he was a serial killer. John, meanwhile, could not say for certain that his son was the killer, so he did not tell Nami about the serial murder case. The two came up with a plan to catch the man red-handed. Nami would pretend she knew nothing, lure the man to her home, and John would wait nearby to arrest him. Nami's phone was turned off, so the man had no way of knowing their plan. He soon arrived at Nami's apartment building as invited. But John lost his patience. He only caught a glimpse of a figure, and moved in with his team to make the arrest before the man even entered Nami's apartment. The man was about to call Nami when he spotted John through the phone's camera. Realizing the danger, he tried to slip away quickly, but John's partner cut him off just in time. But when the man turned around, John froze on the spot. This man was not his son at all. With bystanders yelling at them for wrongful arrest, the officers had no choice. They thought they had grabbed the wrong man, bowed deeply in apology, and let him go. They headed back to their car to resume their stakeout, only to be stopped by Nami yelling from upstairs. She had just gotten a message from the man, saying he had a last-minute emergency and could not make it. None of them realized their plan had already been completely compromised. Meanwhile, back at the police station, the investigation had officially linked the serial murders to Nick. As Nick's father, John was forced to recuse himself from the case entirely, with no further involvement allowed. For Nami's safety, John advised her to stay somewhere else for the night. Before leaving, Nami switched to her old and used phone, and John drove her to her father's house. When she opened the door, it looked like her father was fast asleep in his room, so she headed to her own bedroom. No sooner had she laid down than she got a text from the man. He said he knew she had switched phones, sent her a phone number, and told her to call him right away. She had just texted back asking why, when she heard a phone vibrating right next to her. She dialed the number in disbelief, and the vibrating sound came from the ceiling above her. Terrified, Nami ran straight to her father's bedroom. She ripped back the covers, only to find a pillow in the bed. She locked the door behind her and pulled out her phone to call the police, but the number she had just dialed was deleted before her eyes, and the phone started taking photos on its own. The man had snuck into her apartment while she was at work earlier that day. He had only meant to look around, but when he found her old phone in a drawer, he had bugged that one too. He never thought it would come in handy this way. The man started playing a recording of the fight Nami had had with her father, when she had insisted on seeing the man and brushed her father's warnings aside. Overwhelmed with regret, all Nami wanted was to find her father. She followed the sound out to the living room, where the man had been waiting for her. The first thing he did was show her a video of her father, bound and unconscious. With no other choice, Nami did exactly what he said. She first texted John to tell him she was safe, then handed her phone over to the man. Nami demanded to know why he was doing this. He replied simply, "Because you lost your phone." He told her they were going to play a game. If anyone called her phone in the next 24 hours, he would let her go. Nami knew no one would call. Her only chance at survival was the small knife she had hidden in her hand. Just as she was about to strike, the man said he needed to use the bathroom, and walked inside. Nami quickly grabbed a heavier weapon, planning to ambush him when he came out. But he had left the bathroom door wide open. She summoned up her courage and peeked inside, only to find her father, bound and unconscious in the bathtub. With no other option, Nami dropped her weapon and surrendered. The man threw her a roll of tape and told her to tie up her own legs. She wrapped the tape around her legs until they were completely bound. Then he told her to turn around, kneel on the floor, and put her hands behind her back. When she hesitated for even a second, the man turned on the faucet, pouring cold water over her father's head. Terrified her father would drown, Nami did exactly as she was told, and her hands were bound behind her back. The man soon found the small knife she had hidden. As punishment for hiding a weapon, he turned the faucet on full blast. As the water rose around her father, Nami screamed and begged for mercy, saying she would do anything if he just let her father live. The man was intrigued. He said he was not an unreasonable man, so if that was what she wanted, he would take it easy on her. But his demand was for Nami to kill her father herself. Nami was then thrown into the bathtub, and the water rose instantly, submerging her father's face. With her hands and legs bound, Nami could do nothing to help him. The man took a photo of Nami's desperate face, set it as his phone wallpaper, and walked back into the living room. That was when he spotted a business card Nami had dropped on the floor, the one John had given her before she went inside. It had a handwritten note, "No texts, call only." He realized immediately that the text Nami had sent John had blown her cover. He turned around just as the police burst into the house. He hid in the shadows, ready to attack them from behind, but John arrived just in time. The 8-time serial killer was finally arrested. During John's violent interrogation, the man confessed that he had killed John's son just 3 days after he had run away from home, and had been using Nick's identity to commit his crimes ever since. When John found his son's phone among the killer's belongings, and saw the wallpaper was a photo of his son drowning, he could no longer contain his rage. He beat the man within an inch of his life, then pulled his gun and aimed it at him. But the last of his sanity stopped him from pulling the trigger. Back in the bathroom, Nami was pulled from the tub, but her father, who had been underwater for minutes, showed no signs of life. Watching the man smirking arrogantly in the living room, Nami's gaze turned cold and sharp. She quietly stole an officer's gun, walked slowly into the living room, and stood right in front of the man. In that moment, she avenged herself, and every single one of his victims. Just then, she heard someone call her name. She turned around to see her father, who had been revived by paramedics. In the end, this serial murder case sent shockwaves across the country. Her father's bubble tea shop even became a viral tourist spot for netizens. With John's help, Nami faced no legal charges for her actions, but it was clear that for a long time to come, she would remain in the public eye, and still feel like she was living under a camera's watchful gaze. Today, smartphones have become an absolute necessity in our daily lives. For a device that fits in the palm of your hand, it holds nearly every single detail of your entire life. We often joke that ordinary people's personal information is everywhere and worthless, but every single one of us has the right to defend our digital security and protect our privacy. At the end of the day, for all the convenience the internet brings us, we must always stay vigilant. That's all for today's story. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Thank you.